What happens when things change in life? But now you're in this relationship that you really weren't ready for, but you just wanted to be loved, right? Now things are a bit different for me because I learned that it takes a lot of responsibility just to take care of someone you love. How many of you run around and go, I want to be in a relationship. I want somebody to love. I want to be with somebody. You can act like it's not you, but it was me. So I'm just going to say what it is. And I'm going to tell you what my great grandmother told me. She said to me, when I told her I just had to be in a relationship, she was like, go get a dog. And I thought to myself, that is so mean. Like, what do you mean go get a dog? Like, I want to be with somebody. I want to do life with somebody. And I found out what she meant about it once I got that pet, because it is such a big responsibility to take care of someone else. You have so many things you have to balance. You don't get to just go and leave when you want to, right? Like, I have to time out when I'm going to be gone, what time I'm going to get back, because I got this four-legged lover at the house waiting on me to go to the restroom, waiting on me to play with her, waiting on me to feed her, right? There's a responsibility there. And we don't think about that when it comes to relationships. It's not just you. It's the person you with too. How do you balance both of those things? Like, how do you do that? And I'll be honest with you, I thought I had it down pat because I am the scheduler king. I can get some stuff in, you do this, you do that. But what happens when the schedule doesn't work out? What happens when things change in life? But now you're in this relationship that you really weren't ready for, but you just wanted to be loved, right? Now things are a bit different for me because I learned that it takes a lot of responsibility just to take care of someone you love. But it's also the responsibility of your own that you have to hold to love yourself, right? And so what my great grandmother was really offering to me, and I think it's something that I'm going to hold for the rest of my life, is the reason why she offered that pet to me, because I never actually asked her to explain it. I think it was one of those things where it's going to be lesson learned, is that you cannot say you want something that you are not ready for. You weren't ready. I wasn't ready. And so the relationship that I had gotten into, friends, I was not ready, right? What if the person you get with gets sick? What if there's some life changes that happen? What if the plan does not become the plan that you had laid out for yourself? Things change, right? Things change a lot. And it's not like you can just put things like a person on pause and go do something else. You're in this. You have to be committed, right? Like, I could say, well, I don't want a dog anymore, and I got to try to find a way to rehome her. But that's also going to take a lot of work, and you're still responsible for that transition. And so I had to get me a pet because I learned real quick on, after making the mistake of jumping in a relationship, that I just was not ready. I was not ready to love someone fully. I wasn't ready to stop being selfish about my time. I wasn't ready to have to consider somebody else's feelings and not just my own. I wasn't ready to pick out what color the walls are going to be, or what kind of carpet do we want to hear? When do you want to have kids? And all these things. I thought I was ready, but I found out quick on I wasn't ready. Another thing I learned in that, you don't just take on your stuff. You take on that person's stuff. You don't just take on your family. You're also now going to be a part of that person's family. That's a lot of work. And even though I did all the classes and did all the things, becoming one with someone, I learned quickly on, you really don't understand what it's like to be in a relationship until you're in it. And it was funny because after I got in it, and maybe even slightly before, I panicked a bit because I went, I am not ready for this, even though I thought I was. The mistake in the relationships that I made, I think first and foremost, is forgetting that my voice mattered just as much as the other person's in the room. Sometimes we just want to be heard, and we're formulating our responses when somebody else is trying to speak, and we're not really considering what someone has to say. And I learned I had to do a lot of listening, right? Imagine having a pet. We don't speak the same language, but me and Willow has learned how to speak the same language, but it took time, right? Like, it took time for her to understand me and for me to understand her, right? But I think a thing that was hard for me is being in a relationship with someone and we don't speak the same language. It was another reason why I found out long into it that I wasn't ready. Speaking foreign language to someone when you don't know that language and you don't understand each other. And I'm not just talking about the art of communication when it just comes to words. I'm talking about the nonverbals. I'm talking about the body language. I'm talking about how we uphold and honor the person that we're with, how we speak about them and treat them when they're not around, right? How do we connect with people, connect with individuals across time, right? Because I'm growing, you're growing, hopefully, right? And so if you're in a relationship with someone, how do you grow together? Having the hard conversations of how do we do life together, but not just in life itself, right? Not just in the steps that it takes to, get to where you want to go, but how do we together come alongside of each other and walk forward? We're not on two different paths at that point. We should be merging into the same one, right? And can still have our own identities and grow into our own things and have our own goals. But how do then we support each other in that? I was not ready for a relationship because it encompassed a lot. And then some people get in these relationships and then they have kids. And that's a whole nother world, because now you got to give your attention not only to your significant other, your spouse, that special person, but now you might have a child that has to do that too. You have to give that attention to as well. And so I learned that not just being in a relationship and showing up was enough. I had to be present. Just like with that pet, I have to be present. She needs to know that she is loved at all times. She's not asking for much. Willow is, she is a rambunctious, I think sneaky, loving, four-legged family member. And even with her, I have to remind myself every day that she counts when I come in and I'm tired. When I've had a long day and I'm just not in the mood. When she needs to take a walk, but I needed to get some sleep. When she's waking up early in the morning, I want to just lay in bed and watch TV. I have a responsibility to her. But just as much as when we jump into relationships with people, we forget that we're responsible for that relationship that we're in. And I don't ever again want to get into a relationship blindly, not understanding the responsibility that it takes to show up well and really love and care for the individual that I'm with. So why do we just jump into relationships? I don't know, but if y'all listen to me, you better listen to what my great grandmother said. Get you a dog first so you can make sure you find out what it really takes to have that responsibility and treat someone well.